Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here once again for Married at First Sight season. What is this? 19, episode 18. We tired, y'all. When I saw Becca crying on that screen and I saw that face, my thumbnail, here it is again. I said, Becca, girl, Becca. This is how I feel. I feel just like this, Becca. And I ain't even married to Austin. You know, it's so interesting, y'all, when I was getting ready to do a thumbnail, my thumbnail for this video, for the first time I noticed that they didn't do a group picture. Every year, Married at First Sight has a group picture of the whole cast that they kind of use as their advertisement. And I noticed this year they didn't have a group picture. They have some picture of some man with a ski mask on and a lady. I don't even know who them people are. Who are them people? Who are them people, Harpo? But that should have been a clue to us then. That should have been a clue to us then, because this season is I think it might be one of the cruelest seasons because of all the psychological warfare that the men are doing on the women. I see why the women were wearing pink. Because let me tell you, these men are really, really doing something to them. And I told you guys, midway through the season, I started thinking, you know what? Austin might be the worst of all. And it's turning out that he's just as bad as all the other ones. This effort that they're going through to make the women pretend that they like them. See, this is a whole nother level. See, there's one level where you don't like a person and you tell them. Or you didn't give the marriage a chance. Right? But when you go through this much effort to pretend that you like a person, that's starting to be what I call cruel and unusual punishment. I think what Austin did to Becca might be kind of the worst of all the men. They're all playing with these women. They've all done horribly wrong. All of them. I really can't, Cameron included, even though I never really liked Claire as much. But Cameron included, even this last episode when he's talking about, well, if she says yes, that she wants to stay married, I'm going to say yes too. These people, I think there's some morality issues going on. The fact that they would sell their souls like this for TV. Because it's been clear from the beginning that these people don't like these women. And stringing them along is it's cruel. It really is cruel. I looked at Brennan this episode and I said, when did Brennan turn into Tony Robbins? When did he become a life coach? When did he become the rah-rah man? He has made himself the cheerleader for Emily. And now Emily's believing that there's hope romantically. Well, we know there's no hope. There's no hope. The amount of effort they put into these facades is what's baffling to me. Because I understand that he wants to support Emily. He wants Emily to get better. Any human would feel that way towards someone that what they went through with Emily. But I think Brennan is doing a little bit of extra. And it's starting to give Emily a little bit of hope. And I don't believe it. I believe this is just another one of those things whereby they're all doing what they need to do to look good on TV. Just like Becca said about Austin. What he does on TV for the screen, kissing on her, hugging on her, and then when the cameras are gone, he's pushing her away. That was something I always wondered about. I never really understood why Austin was kissing on Becca when we knew he didn't really want her. And it was just to string her along, but then off camera, she says he's pushing her away. Don't want to talk to her. She was on the after party finally again. One last time. I don't know if it's one last time. But maybe so, because I don't know. We're about to go 7 more days. We should be getting to the decision day soon. Hopefully sooner than later, because this is torture. All of these ladies are going to need therapy after this. There's no way you can go through something like this and be treated this way and duped like this. By these men, emotions played with like this, and not need some sort of help recovering from it. because it was all displayed on national TV. You see, any of us, if we go through any of these type of relationship being duped by a man, we could do it in our own privacy. Tell a few of your girlfriends, do your own healing in private. But this type of shenanigans, this type of foolery, this type of trickery happened for a lot of people to see. And I would think that they're going to need some level of therapy for this. Yeah, I think these men are probably some of the most cruel. It's almost like abuse with no wounds. Everybody says, oh, he's somebody who you can say, oh, no, I'm abused. But, people say, well, abuse looks different. It's not always physical wounds, it's emotional wounds. And I can't help but to believe that these women are going to have some emotional wounds after this show. Lauren ought to be thankful. She ought to be thankful that she was able to get out of this situation sooner than later. Sure, her situation is bad too, dealing with Orion, but in the scheme of things, she ought to be thankful that she could kind of get on the road to recovery a lot sooner than these other ladies. I think some of the people who are going to be messed up the most are definitely going to be Becca and Emily. No wonder Emily's so angry, because she has really been angry, nasty attitude the whole season. So we see what's going on next week. I saw that little foolery clip going on next week, talking about the men are talking about double dating with other women. Oof, good Lord. What a mess. And then we get to Chloe. Boy, oh boy, Chloe. What an actress. There was a part with Chloe. It was earlier on. I don't know if anyone caught it. I almost detected an Australian accent with Chloe. Did anybody else catch that? Was it just my imagination? Please let me know. Because I started thinking about that when people started calling Chloe an actress. And I remember hearing an Australian accent, but it was real slight. It was like, I don't know if you ever know those British actors who they come to the US and when they act, they actually can just speak in an American dialect. And you don't even know that they're British. You don't even know that they're Australian. But then when they just speak naturally when they're like doing an interview with someone, you're like, oh, listen to their accent. I heard that with Chloe. And I don't know if it was just me, but it lends more to the idea that Chloe is an actress. At the very least, she's a Debbie Downer, at the very least. That party that they had, and when the woman asked him, how are you doing? That speech she gave it was just a Debbie Downer speech. It was nothing positive about it. I feel so sorry for Michael. I don't think he's an actor. I don't think he is. But I wouldn't be surprised if Chloe is an actress, like some of you have been saying from the very beginning. I don't know if you guys said she was like a real actress or if she was just acting, but I wouldn't be surprised at either one. Either one. Even what she's doing, these excuses she's making up. Because the way I think about it is, if you're an introvert, the way you're talking, then you shouldn't have signed up for this process. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be married. It doesn't mean that you're not ready to be loved. But if you're an introvert and you have these extra levels of, like to this degree, not just an introvert period, but the way that Chloe talks, she actually has almost like clinical diagnosed anxiety. That's a whole nother level. Why are you putting yourselves in situations that would stress out already a condition that you've had for a while, right? I need my space. I need my alone time. I need this. Why are you here? Why are you here on this platform in this manner? It's kind of just selfish. To be honest with you, it's no different from when we thought, why is Becca here with all these health illnesses? Why are you coming into a marriage with so much baggage in this category that anybody you get with has an enormous amount of work to do with you? That's how I think of Chloe. She's unfit to be here. She should have worked on these things, or she should try a process that doesn't involve getting married at first sight. Getting married at first sight is like crazy wild. And if you already have anxiety, if you already know you can barely be with anyone for one day, And I know people want to say maybe it's because she doesn't like Michael. He's too eccentric. I don't believe it. I believe that's a layer of it. But I believe the men that Chloe liked, they don't like her. Just like she talking about she went to the NSYNC concert and all this other kind of stuff that she did. I think she goes places and wants to be part of things, but those people don't like her. Because the people she's talking about, parties she goes to and how she is, those people don't like her. That man that she thinks that she wants, he doesn't want Chloe. That's probably her biggest problem. Her biggest problem might be in dating, that the men that she likes, that she tries to attract, go after, whatever you want to call it, they don't want to be with her. So then she has to be with these other men that are willing to be with her, and then she's frustrated and upset about it. No wonder her relationships haven't worked. I don't think she knows that. I don't know. I think she keeps calling herself a giver. But I don't see it, y'all. Am I wrong? I'm so tired. Normally I'll really get into all this, but I don't see Chloe being a giver. But she describes herself that way. But I don't really see it in her. I think that she says she's a reformed giver. So maybe what I'm seeing on screen now is a reformed giver. But I don't see a person who is continually sacrificing. I don't see it with Chloe. I don't. I see it with Michael. Clearly. I see it with Michael. When Chloe left that apartment and said, I'm going to go home for 2 days to live with my dogs, the way Michael didn't speak up and say anything, the way Michael just said, okay, I understand your feelings and what you're feeling and your anxiety, I thought, he can't keep this up forever. He can't keep. And then when she left, she didn't give him no hug or no kiss. That's when I said, nah, this is more than just like an introvert moment. Introvert moment, go to the park, walk around, leave the house for 4 or 5 hours. I don't know, but 2 whole days, night and day. She's cruel too. She's cruel, or the producers are really cruel because she's an actress and they brought her on here and this is the whole playbook. And if this is really a playbook by the producers, what's she gonna say at the end? They gotta make up for what happened with him. So more than likely, I wonder when her contract ends. Does she get to say no on decision day and then be done with the contract? Or will the producers say, well, we want to have at least one couple that makes it because none of these other couples are going to make it. So the producers set up a scenario where these two say yes. So they can say, oh, we had one successful marriage at the end of the season. Have the experts even come to talk to Chloe and Michael together yet? Have we seen that scene? That's interesting. Have we seen that scene? I'm really starting to believe Chloe is a real bona fide actress. I mean, she might even be from Australia. She might be from the Married at First Sight Australia edition. And they brought her on over here to close out the season. I don't believe any of this. Because let me tell you, Michael is showing some real stuff that would make a woman want to be. That boxing scene he did, and she's all like, ooh, he's really sexy. But she didn't even give him a kiss. When he was in the bathtub last week, she didn't even lean in and give him a kiss. She doesn't do the things that match up with what she's saying. She's saying she's attracted to him. She's saying all these moments where he's looking tough and he's boxing and he's looking so skilled. She doesn't even lean in and give him a hug or a kiss or anything. She says the words, but she doesn't do it. That's why I don't know if Chloe's a giver. Saying stuff and doing stuff are two different things. She doesn't back up her words with actions. It's a lot of words. It's a lot of talk. But does she really do it? That's the thing I'm saying. Is she a talker or is she a doer? I don't see a lot of action. I see a lot of talk. I see a lot of words, but I don't see a lot of action. I really don't. But I don't think Michael has anything to worry about. I think Michael's DMs are going to blow up after this Married at First Sight. I really do. I think they might blow up. I think there are going to be a lot of women who will see Michael on this show and be like, yeah, let me drop down and say hi to him. Let me shoot my shot. Michael has a lot of really, really nice qualities. I know the skirt and the pearls. That's going to be for someone special. But I think there's going to be enough women that outside of that, they see all these other parts of Michael, and I think there are going to be a lot of women that are attracted to Michael. Chloe, not so much. Not so much. When I look at Chloe hasn't really done anything to make me like her more. She's really starting to do things that make me like her less. When Michael, on the other hand, is the opposite. Michael, on the other hand, he has actually made me like him more as the season has gone on. Chloe is losing people. She's losing because now I think that she's fallen into the trap with these other people faking it to make it. And I don't know. I think that scene, at the party, I thought that speech was a Debbie Downer speech. Michael said, after the cameras left, them and all their friends had a really good time. He said he got lit. They were having a really good time partying and everything. He said he was. I don't know where she was because she probably was curled up in a closet somewhere. Or otherwise, I'm trying to figure out, is she really an introvert? Or is she lying about that too? Is that just part of her acting plan? Is that just part of the script she has? So when she wants to get away, she plays that card. I don't know. It's just all cruel. And poor Becca, them tears this episode, them looks on her face, Austin still talking about, can I curl up with you? What for, Austin? What for? Go curl up in that professional football player's bed. I can't believe he repeated that again. Even Mr. Calvin had to laugh at that. Oh, I wanted to sleep in the bedroom of the professional football player. Ugh. That's such a turn off. That is such a turn off. Becca needs to walk away at this point in time. I know they got in that big fight because they were at that store and Becca was being bossy. We know Becca's bossy. We knew that from the very beginning. Very, very beginning. Becca was bossy. We know that. So I believe the story that Austin told. Austin told the story on when he was telling the story that's not how he saw it. He saw it as, once again, Becca being bossy. We don't need that bag. Put it all in here. I know what he's talking about with Becca. We saw it very early on. And Becca, you know what? As cruel as Austin's being, there are some valid points he has about Becca. And she really needs to look at that too, because it could be why she hasn't had successful dating relationships before the show. So I do think that she needs to listen to what he's saying. He's cruel in what he's doing to her. But the bossiness of Becca, the domineering part of her, the control part, I think he's correct about that. But he didn't like her in the beginning anyway. But when he was talking about how she made him feel, I think he said something about he gets pushed to the side, right? And that she micromanages him. Did you notice how Becca just kind of glossed over it? She didn't even give it any type of attention. She went right over and she went back to how she was feeling, which I know she's in a bad spot. She's feeling bad. But it showed me something about Becca, that when he was saying it, she didn't even stop and pause for a moment to actually hear what he was saying. Because actually, this is the first time that he actually has spoken up about this. Becca says it's the first time she's speaking up about the difference between on-camera Austin and off-camera Austin. But it's also the first time that we've actually heard from Austin talk about the micromanagement of Becca when we knew it was there in the very, very beginning, but he hasn't talked about it much. So both of them, in a lot of ways, everybody on this show, they're having these off-camera conversations. Just like I said, I think with Emily and Brennan, I think off camera, Emily isn't as Emily go lucky. I don't. I think off camera, Emmy was snapping. And I think the alcohol contributed to it. But I think in this moment, when she's lucky to be alive and everyone's feeling the graces of God, she's become more positive. She's off the alcohol. She's cleaning out her system. I think there is have y'all noticed even Emily's skin and face looks more beautiful, more glowing. She used to always look red. Did you guys notice that? These last couple of episodes when Emily hasn't been drinking because she's on this medication for her accident, even her face and her skin looks better. I think Emily was doing a lot of drinking, and I think the drinking affected her mood and her demeanor. I really do. I really do. I think that the women haven't paid enough attention to their negatives. I do believe that, because you rarely hear Lauren didn't talk about her negatives. Emily never talks about her negatives. And in this moment, when Austin is bringing up the negatives of Becca, she glosses over them. Claire absolutely doesn't talk about any of her negatives. Claire talks about everybody else's negatives. So it's not even that the men didn't have some points about the women. And in a lot of ways, the women didn't want to address any of their negatives. None of them. They really didn't. That's why I just said this season is really, really cruel, because I don't know where these conversations are even being had, whether they're being had behind closed doors, off camera, because they weren't being had on camera all season. They weren't. How we got here is crazy how we got here, but now that we're here, it's just an awful season. It's just an awful, awful season. Do I think Tony Robbins Brennan is going to say yes to Emily, that this is a real turnaround? No. He brought her back up to let her fall back down. She's going to crash even harder, because now she's been put back up in the clouds thinking things are better. And Tony Robbins Brennan, it's going to be a no one decision day. It's going to be a no one decision day for Claire and Cameron. Even Claire finally admitted and said, hey, we may be a lot of things, but husband and wife ain't it. She finally admitted it to her mama. We may have a lot of titles, but husband and wife title is not for us. We already know that Becca and oh boy, they're not going to say yes either. They're not going to say yes. In fact, Becca's on the after party basically saying that all these lines that Austin is saying, he's been fed these lines from a producer. He said the producers are telling Austin what to say. You know, I read somewhere, or someone told me in a comment, I can't remember which one, that a producer got fired this season on Married at First Sight. And the producer got fired because the producer was telling one of the couples, I don't know which one, could have been all of them because they all faking it, to fake it, to keep the show going. The show got to go on. And they were telling the man to fake it. I don't know which one. It could have been all these men, because all the men have been faking. It could be Austin, because Becca says that the producer was giving him lines. So who knows? Maybe it was the producers for Austin. I don't know. I have no idea. Like I said, I can't even remember where I read it. I don't know if I read it in the blogs, or I don't know if I saw it. Somebody wrote it to me in my comments, but I feel you, Becca. You know, we don't have a picture of the entire cast for the season, but I think this picture right here of Becca should be the picture. This is the poster child. This is the poster child look for this whole season. This should be turned into a meme. Somebody needs to turn this into a meme and let it go viral, because I'm telling you, when I saw it, I said, me too. Me too, Becca. Anyway, that's it, y'all. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.